You ready to hit your first spin serve? This is a flat serve, and we know it's flat because the ball is gonna go here. And I want you to watch the direction the racket moves through contact. Look at how it's lining up behind the ball relative to the target where the ball is gonna go. So watch how the racket travels through the ball and towards the target. He's like literally pointing the racket out towards the target. So this ball is not going to have any spin. It's just traveling on a beeline, like right at the target, and just bounces straight through the court. The very next serve is a kick serve, and he's going to hit it here. And I want you to watch the path of the racket this time as he makes contact. And I'd like for you to describe to me, what direction do you see the racket moving this time?
Cross it this way?
Yep. So for me, what it looks like from this angle is it looks like it's actually moving along the baseline. Like it kind of looks like he's swinging like towards the stands over there instead of like where he wants the ball to go. He wants the ball to go in the box, obviously, but he's not swinging towards the box. He's swinging way the heck over there. And so because the strings are facing his target at contact, the ball is going to go there, but because his racket's traveling this way, puts a whole mess of spin on the ball.
Yep.
And so you can see the bounce here. It's much higher over the top of the net as it crosses, and then it comes down and kicks up and out to the side. So that's what you're going to learn how to do. Now, another important factor here is look at where his body is facing as the ball touches the racket. The same direction his racket's going to travel, right? Out to the right. So he's facing this way with his chest and with his hips because he's essentially throwing the racket in that direction, not towards the net, or towards the box. And look at compared to the flat one. Where his hips and his chest facing. It's not straight at the box, but he's probably 45 degrees more into the court than the spin one. So let's go over to your serve. So this is the one you just attempted. So there's a lot of stuff here that's like really fundamentally like really sound. When you make contact, where is your body facing?
Opponent.
Pretty much, yeah. You're basically straight on with the box. So is it possible to swing the racket past the ball if your body is facing your target? Look at the direction the racket's coming from. Directly behind the ball and through the ball towards the box. So is some spin possible here? Yeah, like it's not going to be a knuckleball, but compared to what we just looked at, we're basically like right in line with the target. So what I'm going to show you to do right now is stay more sideways and throw the racket past the ball. That's what's going to curve it. And once you learn how to feel that, it's just going to be a matter of repetition. I don't know if you're going to be able to put it in the box right away or not, but you are going to spin it. You are going to make 2 swings in a row right in the middle of the service line where your racket comes up and through along the center service line. So what kind of serve would that be? If I actually hit a ball like that.
And it's going out over there?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, good question. Yeah, if the ball is going over there, it would be a whole bunch of spin. Yeah, good. Yeah, you understand this. Then after those 2, you are going to go back into the same preparation and trace the service line. And so just like we saw from Raonic, you're going to drop your racket and then trace the service line and come across. So a 90-degree difference this way and then across your body. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So no ball, just slowly trace it. So 2 flat ones first. You're the first person to ever ask me that question. Where's the ball going? That was a 200 IQ question there. Yep, right idea. Trace the service line. Yep. Slow down a little bit. Slow down. Take your time. Good. One more of those. Yep. Now 2 flat ones, please. Slow down, please. Slow down. Slow down. Now 2 spin ones along the service line. Yep. Yep. Good. All right, check this out.
I cannot imagine the ball hitting.
I know, right? It's weird, isn't it?
No.
Well, it's because your whole life has all been locked in. Everything is just one. I feel like the air traffic, control people. Yeah. It's like you've got one direction, like your dink serve, like your first serve, your spin serve. It's all going in the same direction. So this feels like it doesn't even work. Like, how can it possibly compute? So here's your flat ones. This is no problem for you. So everything is in alignment with the box. Everything's going straight forwards towards the other side. So this looks just like your real serve, coming up and through towards the other side. And now here's the spin one. So now your racket is tracing, just like Raonic, this way. I mean, it looks just like him, right? Totally different path. It does work. You're gonna have to trust the physics.
I know, and that I can hit a ball. I mean, it's hard for me to picture hitting a ball.
But do you see how now the racket is traveling somewhere other than the target? Believe it or not, this would actually work because the strings are facing the box.
Yeah.
So assuming you hit the ball on the strings, it would go over and it would have just a crap load of spin on it. Now you're gonna do 2 shadows along the service line. And then after the second one, you're gonna put up a ball and you're just gonna have one focus, and that's trace the service line, and see if you can make contact with the ball while maintaining that path. Makes absolutely no difference where the ball goes. We just wanna see you physically commit to that direction. No worries. Do another practice shadow along the service line. Yep, the same path now with the ball. I forgot to do this. Do 2 practice ones again. Same path. Commit to the same path. Okay, good effort. Do it again. It just hit off the frame. 2 practice ones. Yep. Same path. Yeah, good. I like it. Just keep doing what you're doing. 2 practice ones. Yep. Same path. Here you go. Go again. Yep, same path. Yeah, good. Come on over here. It turned. Did you see it? Did you see it turn? It wasn't the biggest spin serve ever, but it had curve to it. Yeah. So here's your last practice. Going along the service line. Now let's see if you actually committed to it. I'm actually really curious. Yeah, that's good. Nice, good job. Now look at your hand is pushing forwards a little bit, but that's okay. Like this is like 90%. You stuck with it. So it's not quite clear enough. Oh, you can kind of see the seams. It's tough. If this was like a $10,000 camera, then we'd see it really clearly. But watch the curve of the ball and the bounce. You see it turn in. And you're like, how about that? It worked. Son of a gun. Yeah. So because your strings are facing here, the ball went there, and then after the bounce, it took a curve in. So this is what your second serve should be, because As you get comfortable with this and you start to really go after it and accelerate it, the curve accentuates more and more, and that buys us space over the top of the net.
It's more likely to go in and more likely to be trouble.
Right. Currently, you buy yourself space by buying yourself space and like tapping it over the top of the net. And so what you're doing is decelerating the racket. When you learn how to do this, the more you accelerate, the more the ball spins, and the more it spins, the more it curves. So it's actually the exact opposite of what you're doing now. You can be more aggressive and more safe at the same time. And right now you're being least aggressive to be most safe, which you can see the problem. Yeah, there's no future, yeah. All right, let's go back to the baseline. Along the baseline. Yep, that's all you're allowed to focus on. I had a little bit. I'd love to hear that sound again though, before we take our notes. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Can you feel the difference? I know you hear the difference and you see it, but do you feel the difference?
The weird thing is it sounds, if you didn't know it, like you screwed up.
Yeah, it's not a dissimilar sound. Nah, pretty minimal. Had a little bit, but not much. That's better. That's better. Yeah, that had more. Would love to hear that sound again, though. Pretty good. Like, it's enough to move it, but would be great to exaggerate it. Do a couple practice ones for me. Just mentally draw a pass for yourself to follow. Better, better. What's starting to happen, Mary, is it's going to make it really tough. So let's address it. On the practice ones, I want you to watch your right shoulder, right there, and watch how, as your racket comes up along the baseline, your shoulder turns and comes around.
Don't want that.
No, that's actually what we want. And so what's happening is your back and your shoulder, your core are driving the racket in that direction. And then you finish the racket with the racket across. When you toss and you hit, your shoulder stays there and your arm is just kind of like poking at the ball. So you're just kind of like chopping up like with your arm on the hit. And so you're moving your racket in the right direction, but there's just not much force because like everything from here down is just kind of locked in place. Watch, if we go back to the professional player again, his body moves before the racket gets there. And so there's all this unwinding and all this turning with his body that really generates most of the power. So let's just kind of free the body up a little bit. Yeah, that's right. Yep. And that's something you did well on your original serve. You used your body pretty well. Yep, right idea. And now we just need to direct it more that way. But better job with the body there. Yep. Yep, a little bit of movement there. Just got to make it more sideways. It's turning. We just need the angle to be a little bit more extreme. A little bit more force with the body. Here we go. One more. Trace the baseline and commit to that baseline path. The reason why we don't start here is because familiarity.
Makes you do the same.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So from up there, it's like, oh, we're just doing a drill, like, and so we're not really surveying, and so it's easy to just kind of commit to it.
I'm doing the same old thing.
So when, frankly, it might be the best practice for you to do it in your backyard, where it's like
Then I can.
there's no net, there's no box, like you can just kind of focus on making that sound.
Yep.
That's all you should be focusing on at first, not the result at all. Here's the spin serve. Before we started working on it, look at the direction of your swing here, and how the ball like just stays inside the racket face like the whole time. So watch this one. So now the racket, it's minimal, but you're getting it. Like we're on the right track. We just need to keep throwing it further and further out to the side. And when you were on the service line, you were doing it no problem. You weren't finding the ball, on the strings all the time, but at least you were getting the racket out to the side.